I keep alluding to it, but I never really comment on it. And so I decided I needed to make a comment on it just because it's a consciousness deal where, keep in mind, I always mention that, first of all, I really rarely post things. This should open up a lot of questions on Facebook that are even rumors, if you want to put it that way. Or that maybe I do have some source of information that other people don't have, and it's put upon someone that seems like some normie, or that wouldn't have information like that, but is willing to post it. And maybe lots of people look at all those posts, but are told not to hit like or comment on it for a deliberate reason. Crazy ideas like that. But with that said, there is something going on that I'm not. Nothing that I'm saying to you, am I fabricating? And at some point, I almost get so pushed in a corner of almost believing what other people are believing. It's not true. It's not going on. That I have to really kind of check myself and take that really good moral and spiritual look in the mirror and make sure that I'm not confused. I do that quite a bit, especially because of the lines of communication that I have with people. And with that said, there's a side effect to that. And the best way I could describe it, and I need to describe it, because like I said, you have to get this out. If I don't, I physically get ill. That's one of the reasons I go to the hospital. It's really stress related, but it's not like stress like, oh, I have it so tough with my job. It's not what I'm saying. I've been exposed to things that I've seen that enter into your mind in the sense of not like dirty or evil, as much as extremely elaborate, so intelligent, such higher intelligence that it does not register correctly in my mind. And so it's kind of like giving you a new, it's kind of like giving not a kid a weapon, but like a kid in the 15th century a gun. I mean, guns aren't invented yet. It's nothing that anyone else can refer to or I can refer to. I can't even give examples of it. It's hard to, I can remember what these things are and the scenarios and the concepts. They're not becoming like machines. I'm not saying that. But basically concepts, and it occurred to me, and that's when I had been told that information saturation thing that people comment on, like they like that idea, because I know other people are going through that, where you're seeing something that you know is true, so it's not a question of you believing it or not, but your mind literally goes into some physical shock where it won't accept it yet. It's not going to allow that cartridge in its mind yet. Although it knows it's true, it'll take a few weeks. It has to absorb into you because it's literally that much more elaborate than any movie you've seen or anything else you've ever seen. So I don't want to put the impression that it's like scary like that. What happens is we've seen a lot of scary stuff, okay? Scary movies even. When you apply some of the ideologies that are just very advanced to a scary scenario, then things happen to you and you become terrified. And I literally hesitate to tell people, because the first reaction that I had to being shown a scenario that it wasn't that complicated. It was just a scenario that I had never pondered or I had ever heard anyone else consider. And it was shown to me in a way that was the proof of it. It was the evidence of it. It wasn't like an idea. It was the working out of the math problem of this is how it would be done, and this is how it's done. And for example, this is how it was done. Like, does that make sense? They showed me how to do it. Not how to actually create this thing. But that you would say that was impossible. Then they said, well, if that's impossible, we'll show you how we do the equation so that it's not possible. And that blew my mind. It just blew my mind, man. And I immediately was like, you know what? Whoa. See what I mean? It's got this tripping when that happens. See what I'm saying, dude? It's just, it moves around in my room, dude. Whew. Every time I talk about this topic, that's what it's like. Of course, you didn't see that, but oh man, it happened earlier today when I was recording, and there was that explosion outside. Damn. Hey man, I'm just going this far. All I can tell you is it's that elaborate that I said that's something that if the U.S. government knew about that stuff, I would say do not tell the American people, because I do not believe they could handle that. I do not believe they could handle that. Because it was not what I expected. I expected it to be like I can handle anything within my world, within the world, yes. It was clear to me that a human being didn't come up with this idea. It wasn't an evil thing, but damn it, if it's that smart, or if they're that smart, or whatever's that smart, it wasn't like aliens or anything like that, or it could have been, I don't know. But it wasn't presented to me as such. It was presented as extraterrestrial, but not in the sense of like alien ET, as much as higher level of intelligence. Could be angel, but it was more like smarter intelligences, not evil intelligences. But it gave me a perfect example of if an evil intelligence got a hold of that, we were punked. And that started entering my mind, and applying the tools that I saw to an evil thing made it very frightening on a level of like, no one's ever even thought of it like that. And I don't want to do that with anybody. But the desire and need to like therapeutically get it out there is something that I'm suffering with a lot now. Like a post-traumatic thought disorder, if that makes any sense. And that's caused me to become very withdrawn about that topic. Although I'm basically somewhat directed to like, just shoot your mouth off, talk a lot of shit. Who cares if they believe you? It's registered, it's time-stamped, and that will be important. There's no way it can come back and haunt you. Because all you're doing is posting an opinion, or coming up with a movie idea. Or are you? Because they were telling me, as you can see, there's something about what I said. I don't know exactly who it's for and who is reading it, but my posts are public. And I'm not saying anything evil or dark. And if that's the way it's being taken, well, then I have a big problem with basically understanding where the concepts of love and understanding are coming from, because I'm not saying anything like that unless I'm doing one of my own little rants. But that's separate than some of the random stuff I post, which I know is going to be sporadically looked at. How do I know that? Because eventually I'm contacted by somebody telling me that they saw it. That's when it makes sense to me. So that was for you. Like, it happens a lot. So it's clearly a theory that works. I'm not running off of some crazy concept and doing it over and over again and being on Facebook 24 hours a day. You don't know when I'm on Facebook because they study your patterns. So it's somewhat deliberate. Maybe a lot of people have my passwords. Maybe a lot of people post on my account. It is odd that no one ever really comments or likes the comments I make. Do you ever notice that? Okay, I want you to think about that. But I've had some scenarios go down with me, especially recently, that are very bizarre. And I wouldn't, even me with my radical-minded theories, wouldn't even want to present it as a concept. Yet deep down, it's a reality. People have seen it, and the people that have seen it have been so shook up that they've become withdrawn. In other words, if I tell people to the best of my ability, because it's hard to explain, you can't explain it. Literally, you have no word for it. But once you kind of get them to see it a little bit, or they see it occurring around you, their reaction is to stay away from me because they become terrified of it. So I don't want to do that because it's not that severe to where it's destroying me. What's destroying me is me having to expose other people to what I'm going through because I need some tender love and care about it. And it seems to spook people, even if they admit that or not. So there, I got that out. But I am carrying a big sack of rocks in my backpack right now. And I have to get that out there and just let it be known. And yes, of course, it has to do with the main mission. But it was an unexpected, it was not on the calendar, so to speak, event. And it's gotten better. But, it was definitely one of those scenarios where now I know there's a devil and now I know there's a God. Now, whatever the definition exactly is of those things, I don't know. But I don't have any concerns about that, childlike definition of like, it's God and it's the devil. Okay, that's fine. Let's put them in those categories. Maybe it's more complicated. Then it's more complicated, but it's not less complicated. There is something like that out there. There's no doubt about that. Exactly how you define it, maybe that's more elaborate. But the establishment of a God and a devil, it's been done for me. It's not a question.